yesterday you talked, just wanted to clear something. You talked, not clear stuff, but get a little kind of, you talked about Nimmo waiting until early March before he plays in games. He's apparently very detailed on this whole program and how he gets ready. And so I'm just looking for like a quick sentence or two on, what's his reasoning for how this helps? Does he feel like he needs limited at-bats in spring, or?
I think he has figured out a way in his career to get off on a hot start, number one, and to stay healthy, number one, and then a hot start, number two. And he feels like the ramp up of a particular amount of at-bats and a particular amount of innings on the field is best for him to feel the freshest for opening day. So he's still doing all the work on the backfields, he's still doing the lives, but just gameplay, he likes a slower build-up, and that has worked for him the last 4 years or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is Alejandro Osuna's route to a job on this team?
I think he has versatility in the outfield. He's going to get a chance to get reps in center field also. I know he's going here in a week or so, whatever, to the WBC, but he'll be playing all three positions, left-handed bat. He can defensive replace if needed, depending on how this roster shakes out. Also, the double switch that there's no longer, but I still believe in. So I think there's a number of ways that he can get on the roster. He comes with a lot of energy. He's a spark plug, something that is really great for our clubhouse to kind of infuse that every single day. I really like how he goes about the game, how he plays it. I mean, he had an unbelievable spring training last year when I was here, and kind of opened some eyes and almost forced himself, early on to start. He had that good of a spring. So I think that he's got a bright future. As far as the roster, nothing's set in stone. So play as hard as he can, try to make a team, and we'll see how it shakes out.
The obstacle for me, right, is that you've added another left-handed bat in the outfield.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got multiple starters who are left-handed.
Yep.
And you wanted to add a right-handed bat. You need a right-handed bat as an outfielder. As an extra left-handed bat, it seems like there's an extra hurdle for him to clear this year. Is that fair?
Maybe. I mean, I think, again, we'll see how it all shakes out. We're going to, pray that everyone is healthy leaving spring training. But as you know, depth is key for any club, and he's going to impact our club. I'm not sure when, if it's opening day or first month, second month, but he is going to impact our club. So I want him to go about it like he's trying to make a team, and we'll just see how it plays out. As far as like the path, I mean, I've been in his situation before. You just do whatever you can, control the controllables. I hate to be cliche, but that's what it is, and see how this thing plays out.
The two guys who seem to have, if you looked at energy in that clubhouse last year, the two guys who seemed to be off the chart when they were around were him and Freeman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to assume anything here, but does that energy, as far as that fits into your long-term culture and what you view as culture, that an asset for them in terms of making the roster or impacting the team? I don't want to say just opening day.
I do think a role of a bench player is, to be the starting player's biggest fan, to create that energy, that life in the dugout, the life in the clubhouse. It's got to be organic. It can't be fake. But there is a role for a bench player, and that is to create life in the dugout and in the clubhouse. Who that's going to be, I don't know yet, but I do feel like it's hard to be an everyday player and bring energy every single day, and that's why it's super important to have a bench to bring that life, and to have fun coming to the ballpark every day is important. So I think you think about it. At the end, you want production. So, but I do feel like the energy and personality does mean something.
How much can that sway decision or outweigh maybe a perfect fit?
Not much. Yeah. Honestly, at the end, you want the best hitter and the highest leverage that you trust. Same with the pitcher. Perfect world, you want both. So, but there are guys that I've been on a staff before and as a player before, that we have had guys that have been nudged to get on there more because of the personality and the clubhouse feel. But there's such good guys in there that I want production in the end. So, and I think that's probably going to outweigh anything else.
I don't know how much you were around just in September, but it certainly seemed like his at-bats had really progressed.
Osuna?
Yeah. Did you see in the last part of last year a guy who looked like he had started to figure some things out at the big league level?
I do. It's hard to play, like we talked about Duran a couple of days ago. Might have been yesterday. It's hard to play once a week and then not play for next 6 days, not have a pinch hit at bat. I think when you start getting more consistent at bats, I think that's when you can get more consistent. I mean, it's not real surprising, but also the league can adjust to you, and he made some adjustments to the league, which tells me that his mind works, which is great. He knows how to game plan. He knew what he was, as far as the work. I mean, he works. There's no doubt about that. Great teammate. But I do feel like the more consistent at bats is when you saw him have better at bats. He was, I remember the Cleveland series, he had a couple big hits, and he plays a really good outfield. I wasn't around, but I watched every game, and I saw what you saw. There was some life behind the at-bats. Just the edge that he brings is just different, and that's what's attractive to all of our coaches as well.
When Jock isn't playing, somebody against lefties and somebody you have a right-handed DH, do you want it to be a profile of Jock, like a guy who can slug, or is it just somebody who can be effective against lefties?
Be effective would be great. Obviously, again, I'll take a home run. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy those as well, but being a really tough out at the end of the day is what I'm looking for, and up and down the lineup. So whoever that is, the tough out that can beat you in multiple ways is what you're looking for. So it's not easy. I'm looking at the, I'm not going to say who the starter I think the starter is, but you're going to have some tough matchups, potentially in that opening series, and you're going to have a guy that can be tough, a tough out, not trying to hit home runs. If it happens, but tough outs is what I'm looking for.
Yeah, opening day could be tough.
It's going to be tough no matter what. Whoever you play. Yeah.
So who would be the right-handed DH? Like Jeff said, if Jock is right now.
I don't know.
You don't know, but
Like a catcher.
projecting.
It could, yeah. I don't. Yeah. that's why there's 6 weeks of spring training. For real. That's the truth. You have Haggerty. You have, like you said, the extra catcher. You have Hellman. You have a number of players that can grab a hold of that spot and take it. What's Duran going to look like this spring training? So there's competition for that spot to come in, and what you want as a manager is to have, the other dugout think about it. What move does he want to make? Does he want to face the righty or lefty based on what you have off the bench coming in to replace? And that's the goal that one of these guys I'm hoping can grab a hold of and be, that right-handed complement.
With games starting today, how much of what happens in the game itself for you makes an impact in that decision?
Today or the spring? Quite a bit. We're going to try to, as much as we can, get the lefties, if there's a lefty starter, to try to get the right-hander complement in there. Whether it's, like we said, Hellman, Foscue, one of the catchers, those types of players, Duran's, to see what they can do against the lefties. And you want to see what kind of quality at bat that they're taking. The result, doesn't really matter to me as much. I just want to see the process and the at-bats that they're taking. So you can get tricked and you can get fooled in spring training. It happens all the time. But a 5-hopper, through the hole, or a line drive out, we kind of, sometimes you take the line drive out, but the result isn't what you want. So I think that you just watch it and see how it plays out, and what can we do with our roster to make it the best constructed going into Philly.
And you'll get Evan a lot of at-bats against lefties also.
Yes and no, but the challenge is you're not going to play them every day right away.
Yeah.
So it's every other day for probably the first week, and then you try to start doing back-to-backs, and then you try to get them left-handed at bats. I do think that there might be a lefty starting the third game, which helps with some of our lefties to get the left-handed at bat and see what they do. Guys like Evan will probably start against the lefty. So you see it, and you trust your eyes and try to make the best decision you can.
Yeah, I mean, you said it in winter meetings. You can't get better against lefties if you never face lefties.
Yeah, and so we try to do, like for Evan, we've tried, every live, we've tried to, set him up against a lefty. He's been really good against the traject, like getting reps that way. So he's doing the best he can. We hired a left-handed BP thrower. So we're doing the best we can to get the most reps we can for a lefty. And I also think Brandon figured out how to hit lefties really well later in his career. And I think that's going to be really good for Evan.
On the bullpen side, how many of your 8 need to go multiple innings or get 4 outs instead of just 3?
Early on in the season, a couple. I don't know if it's 2 or 3, but definitely a couple. I mean, pitch counts are probably in the 85 range early on, right? So, and you're going to have a lot of guys. Luckily, we have some off days, mixed in. But you're going to have a couple multiple inning guys to get you to the back end of the game, and hopefully we're winning at that point. But it's the bridge guys are super important early in the season. And the last thing you want is your starting pitcher to look behind you and think, I'll just go one more inning because I don't want that guy coming in. So we want, just because they can throw 2 innings. Doesn't mean I want good pitchers to throw 2 innings to get us to the finish line.
Is Cole Winn a multiple inning guy?
Sure, yeah. I mean, he's capable of throwing 2 innings, no doubt about it. Yeah.
I know we're a month away from having to write out a real lineup, and I know this all might be dependent on where a guy's slot. But with Evan and what he does well in his profile, where does he fit in this lineup? I guess.
It's so hard to predict that. I'm sorry. Yeah,
I know.
It's I want Evan to be come out of spring training healthy, just like a lot of, I know I repeat myself, but if you look at his history, that's the goal. And he feels really good. He feels strong. He said he's had the best offseason. You've heard that from many players before, but I actually believe him that he had a really good offseason, feels really good entering the camp. And we want to watch him play because he's still so young, and he's still so hasn't proven. I shouldn't say hasn't proven, but hasn't been able to prove what he's capable of because he hasn't been on the field. And I think I'm hoping that we can see a healthy Evan for 162, and force me to put him higher up potentially in a lineup and just let him go. But right out of the gate, I can't tell you if it's going to be at the very top or potentially at the very bottom. Who knows? So we'll see. But there's value no matter where he's at because he takes such good at bats.
And 3rd in the World Series.
I'm aware. Yeah, I'm aware. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It can go a number of different directions, but he's a very valuable piece to have. And for us, I mean, if he goes, we'll be in a good spot.
I want to just go back to one thing on this. He's leaving on March 1st. They could be around. Mexico could be around for a while. I know he'll get some at bats, hopefully against Team USA, so he'll face some elite pitching. But he's going to be gone out of camp for a while. Does that put any more impact on what you see in this window here before he leaves, or do you put more weight on what you'll see from afar in the WBC since it's more highly competitive? Any difference in any of that stuff?
Not really. It's easier to see him firsthand and get our hands on him. I think that's the attractive part about our guys staying here. But I'm excited for him to go play for Mexico, and I think he's going to do really well. And we're going to watch every single game, and I'm going to be rooting for him and to have success. But yeah, we'll keep our eyes on him to, make sure that the stuff that he's working on, he continues to work on, and hopefully implement it into the game. But I, as far as like making the team or not, depending on if he does good against Team USA, against Scooball, like that's tough, So
Well, maybe skiing.
well, yeah, that's so much easier. So I think that's unfair. But yeah, we'll be watching every game.
And like Garcia's going to. Do you have you asked Benji or anybody with Team Mexico? Like, are there any parameters on Garcia? Obviously,
There's
no back-to-backs. I would.
Yeah, WBC rules. I mean, I was going to be the bench coach there, so I had to be up to speed on the rules. I will say that they're really good at protecting the relievers, and there's really a hard stop in bullpen. If you're getting hot and you don't get in the game, you don't get hot again and go in the game. So there's a lot of stuff. It actually makes it really hard for a manager.
Like, he
so
could go more than an inning though. And have you asked for him to not pitch?
we've been in conversation. Yeah, yeah. Our pitching group and CY has been in conversation. Yeah.
Do you feel like that Team USA is now hampered by how weak they become at bench coach?
Well, yeah, they replaced me with Mike Young, so they're in trouble. Yeah.
Is Garcia throwing today?
Yes.
Who's pitching behind Evo? Do you have the list?
I do. I came prepared for you guys. So I don't mess it up. Garcia, Wynn, Supak, Collier, Gray. Not in any particular order.
And Evaldi's going to be 2 and 30.
30-ish, yeah.